Welcome to Concrete Block. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're diving into the latest developments in the ongoing conflict between Iran and the United States and its far-reaching implications for global trade and security. The situation has been escalating since February 28th, when Iran effectively shut down the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway through which a fifth of the world's oil passes. As tensions continue to rise, French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer have been leading international efforts to increase diplomatic and economic pressure on Iran. The two leaders have accused Iran of holding the world's economy to ransom by blocking the strait. In response, they've announced plans for a maritime freedom of navigation initiative aimed at providing security for shipping through the strait. The initiative has garnered support from over 40 nations, with around 30 countries attending talks in Paris on Friday. The operation is expected to be strictly defensive and limited to non-belligerent countries. Military planning is underway, with France and Britain taking the lead. However, the role of the United States in this effort remains unclear after President Donald Trump announced a retaliatory American blockade of Iranian ports. Experts say that mine clearing and creating a warning system for maritime threats are more likely roles for the coalition than warships escorting commercial tankers through the strait. The European Union's most powerful military, led by France, has deployed several ships to the region, including a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. Meanwhile, Britain has discussed using mine-hunting drones for the mission. As the situation continues to unfold, it's clear that the conflict between Iran and the United States has significant implications for global trade, security, and diplomacy. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into our middle segment today, where we're exploring a fascinating story that's been making headlines around the world. Pope Leo, the first U.S. Pope, has been on a 10-day tour across Africa, and his visit has been marked by powerful speeches and large crowds. The pontiff has been outspoken on issues of war and inequality, which has drawn criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump. During his visit to Cameroon, Pope Leo criticized leaders who spend billions on wars, saying the world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants. He also called on Cameroon's political leaders to break the chains of corruption in the country. The Vatican expects around 600 people to attend a mass with the Pope at Chapoma Stadium in Douala, Cameroon's largest city. It's worth noting that President Trump has responded to the Pope's comments, stating that it's essential for the Pope to understand that Iran is a global threat. This exchange highlights the complex and often contentious relationship between religious leaders and politicians. As we examine this story, it's crucial to consider multiple perspectives and avoid taking sides. The role of religious leaders in addressing global issues is a topic of ongoing debate, and it's essential to approach this conversation with nuance and respect. The Pope's visit to Africa has also brought attention to the region's security challenges, including the simmering Anglophone conflict in Cameroon. As we move forward, it will be interesting to see how the Pope's words and actions continue to shape the global conversation on these critical issues. Welcome back to Concrete Block. As we wrap up today's show, we're taking a closer look at the latest developments in Hungarian politics. The country's incoming Prime Minister, Peter Magyar, has begun initial talks with EU officials in Budapest, aiming to unblock funds frozen by the bloc due to disputes with his predecessor, Viktor Orban. Magyar's center-right TISA party won a landslide victory in the recent election, ending Orban's 16-year rule. Magyar has expressed hopes for a constructive negotiation and is working to map out areas of agreement between his government and the EU. He's also outlined key areas where his cabinet can move swiftly to avoid losing billions of euros in EU pandemic recovery funding by an end August deadline. These areas include measures to combat corruption and restore media and academic freedoms. In a concerning turn of events, Magyar has reported that sensitive documents from the outgoing administration are being destroyed. He's called on people to report any such acts and has set up an online platform for whistleblowers to leave anonymous tip-offs. Magyar has pledged to launch a sweeping anti-corruption drive after taking office, which is expected to happen on May 9th or 10. It's essential to note that Orbán has denied any wrongdoing and stated that Hungary is no more corrupt than other European countries. However, the destruction of documents has raised concerns about potential evidence being lost, which could hinder future investigations. As we follow this story, it's crucial to remain informed and consider multiple perspectives. The situation in Hungary is complex, and we'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.